Hello, it's Maury Sapre. Many times people are coming to the clinic and seeking support for overthinking. And for many people, overthinking can be, due to circumstances, it can be due to the news, it can be due to a lot of different stressors. So, what I want to do is I want to caution you about overthinking and anxiety. Okay, so if we take a look at things like the news and we allow ourselves to constantly hear negative news, right? Of course, some people can hear it and kind of separate themselves, and other people over time start to wonder more and more and more about the reality of what they're hearing. In turn, people become more anxious. Well, what happens when you overthink things? When you overthink, your brain becomes very, 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 very high on alert and it gets hijacked. So, especially around the evening time, news is always meant to be sensational, right? So, it's meant to catch your attention. Well, what catches our attention is usually negative consequences because that's how the brain is wired. So, a person getting shot becomes something that makes you think, okay, wait, where did this happen? How close is this to me? As opposed to something like the stock market dropped today 15 points or so many points, right? We don't see the negativity behind that. So, what I want you to do is to get an understanding of how your brain really gets hijacked, right? The part of the brain is the amygdala. The amygdala is really like the control seat. It's almost like the gear shifting of the brain, right? So if you think about a car being in first gear, second gear, you have more power. Well, here's the thing. The more overworked your brain gets, the greater the stress, the greater the fight or flight response that the amygdala is responsible for. So if you're constantly under a lot of stress, constantly getting your brain hijacked because of these anxious thoughts and overthinking, your body stays on high alert. So we know that performance drops. You can't focus when you're truly overthinking and trying to go to sleep, or you can't function sorting tasks or figuring out where you're going, driving your car when you're constantly overly stressed and overthinking, right? We even know that your brain actually changes structure, whether you have gray matter or white matter, right? And in the process of that ratio changing, we build more connections, right? But less room to hold important memories, right? So we want to make sure we do things that reduce stress and anxiety, block overthinking, or at the very least, minimize it, and help us to move forward. Okay? So if you need help in trying to figure out how to stop overthinking, let's work on reducing that anxiety. Give me a call, and I'd love to be a support for you. Talk to you soon. All the best.